Hey guys, I want to take a few minutes today and talk to you more about the vision of Livingstone. Part of the reason I feel like God gave us the name Livingstone comes out of 1 Peter, when Paul calls Jesus the Livingstone, and like living stones, we're being built on top of him. So as I was praying more about Livingstone and the name that I feel God gave us as a church, I was reminded of how the world builds with bricks. And in Genesis, it talks about how the Tower of Babel was built with bricks. And the thing about bricks is they're clones. They're all the same. They have to look exactly alike to be used. God doesn't build with bricks, he builds with living stones. And what that means is every stone is unique and has its own specific place in the kingdom of God. And as a church, I want to be able to pull that out of people and let them go out into the city with truly what God called them to do, not us as a group to do. The biggest way we're going to do that is what's called our Go Groups, which is going to be our version of community groups or small groups. So inside of Go Groups, the leader, the group is going to pray and hear God for themselves about what he wants that group to do. Whether it's going to nursing homes, whether it's crying with people on the side of the road, whether it's feeding homeless people, jail ministry, whatever. So what that looks like practically is once a week for the first 3 weeks of the month, that Go Group will meet together, build one another up, pray for one another, build relationships, build community, do all the things that we have to have as a church to be life-giving. The last week of the month, which would be called Go Week, that group is going to go out into the city and go minister to the people that God told you to minister to. Homeless ministry, children's ministry, whatever God is calling and telling you in that group to do, we want to support you and do that. Part of what I feel God has called us to do as a church is be both an outreach church and a discipleship church. So what that means for us is we're going to have 2 wings of ministry here at Livingstone. One of the wings of ministry is going to be called the Lighthouse Ministry. That's going to be all of our outreach stuff, from our Go Groups, revivals, world missions, online ministry. Everything about the Lighthouse is going to be geared to go out and reach people, bring light to the darkness. The other wing of ministry is our Builders Ministry. That's going to be a very internally focused ministry, basically going to build up the believer so that we can go out into the city and be a light to the lost. So what that looks like is we're going to have our prophetic training, how to hear God, how to obey God. We're going to have our Freedoms Ministry, which will be how to deal with internal pain, with your past, with all the things that would limit you from experiencing the full potential that God birthed inside of you. In addition to the Lighthouse and the Builders Ministry, we're going to have what's called our Core Ministries. Inside of this is our men's and women's ministry, college, youth, our children's ministry, and our Sunday worship service. I'm so excited to see these ministries come to life as we advance forward as a church. I believe that all of these things are going to be geared to help pull out the purposes that God has placed inside of people to go be a light to the lost, build the believer, and advance the kingdom of God. I can't wait to see what God has in store for us.